Tyrod Taylor. That's who I had to start in fantasy. And also, I'm not mad because, like, I had to start Tyrod. Obviously, it wasn't ideal, but Drake May was on a bye week. But Tyrod's been playing fine. He's been rushing, he's been throwing touchdowns. He's been averaging about 10 points a week in fantasy, which is all you can really ask for. And then he gets hurt immediately and is out for the game. -2 points, he got me. In my past life, I must have been the worst human being ever. That's all I'm saying. I must have really been a horrible, horrible, horrible person. I'm trying to make it up now. Anyway, what is going on, ladies and gentlemen? Welcome to my Week 14 NFL reactions. We got a bunch of stuff to talk about today, so as always, we got a plug of the day, and that'll be Prize Picks. Don't forget to use code WyattzWorld at sign up to guarantee yourself to win a free $50 with your first $5 entry. But if you do that, please remember to always play responsibly, and let's get into the video. Okay, so starting off with Sunday, because I already reacted to Thursday's game and Friday's video, we had a bizarrely entertaining game where we saw the Titans defeating the Browns in what I would say is an official breakout performance for, well, both Shedeur Sanders and Cam Ward, all things considered. Cam Ward obviously wasn't the most accurate player, but he did have 2 passing touchdowns, and I saw a play where there was a Cleveland defender trying to get this man to the ground, literally hanging on him, and he just grabbed the fucking guy and shoved him into the earth. So it's good to see him finally use his size there. Tony Pollard, who sat on my bench, who's been sitting on my bench since like week 4, finally did something, dropping 161 rushing yards and 2 touchdowns. Passing touchdowns went to Shamir Dyke and Alec Ailmanor, and their defense appeared to be disruptive enough here, having Jeffrey Simmons getting a sack and a half, also getting a forced fumble recovered, and an interception. Regardless, we're not going to knock Shedeur Sanders' performance. 364 yards, 3 touchdowns. Also led the team in rushing with a rushing touchdown. He's definitely got some great escapability. I'll give Shedeur credit on that. Like I said, I kind of find myself rooting for the guy after just seeing all the shit that's said about him online when he hasn't even really gotten to play a game yet, or hadn't gotten to play a game. Harold Fannin exploded, 8 for 114 and a touchdown. Njoku got a touchdown. Judy actually had 76 yards and a touchdown, also sitting on my bench. And Devin Bush came up with the interception for Cleveland. Matter of fact, Devin Bush has probably been having the best year of his career. That ain't saying much. Anyway, Cleveland, that's a pathetic loss. Kinda wondering if he did it on purpose. And Tennessee, congratulations. Now we have the Seahawks beating the Falcons within an inch of their life, 37-9, where they just erupted in the second half of the game. Darnold bounced back, 253 touchdowns. He did have a pick, and I believe it was Mike Hughes that picked him off. Running game was lousy. Kenneth Walker, again, now struggling to get yardage again. He is the weirdest fucking running back I have ever watched. Receiving was back to reality here, being led by JSN, who had 2 touchdowns and 92 yards. Kupp also had a touchdown, and Rashid Shaheed also had a nice game, 4 for 67. Seattle's defense also just bullied Atlanta and Kirk Cousins, only getting 1 sack on the day, but 2 interceptions, forcing a fumble, and just really not giving Kirk Cousins any room to do anything. Looking at Kirko, 162, 0 touchdowns, 2 picks, an awful passer rating. I didn't see enough to know that. I knew he didn't play well, but holy fuck, he was terrible. Bijan mustered up 86 yards. Pitts led the team with 90 receiving yards. The interception did indeed come from Mike Hughes. However, defense was led by AJ Terrell, and Zane Gonzalez was responsible for every single one of Atlanta's points. Raheem Morris, man, you had a hell of a ride. And now we move on to the nightmare that continues for the Indianapolis Colts, who just cannot win a game in Jacksonville. First and foremost, hats off, Daniel Jones. You have already had my respect. You have my respect, and I will defend you into the ground. Goes out there and plays with a broken fucking leg, and then ends up blowing out his Achilles, I believe, in his other leg. I watched him go down. You knew right away he was fucked. It was no contact. But man, what an awful turnaround the Colts have had here. I mean, all of Indy's points came out of rushing. Credit to Riley Leonard on getting a rushing touchdown, as well as JT. Defensively, they were not able to get to Trevor Lawrence 1 time. And this is also the 2nd game in a row where Trevor Lawrence has not thrown an interception. I feel like we're talking about 30 for 30 Jameis here, but it's honestly impressive. Looking at the Jags offense now, ETN had 2 of the touchdowns, 20 carries for 74 yards. T-Law threw 244, 2 touchdowns, 1 to Tim Patrick, 1 to Jacoby Myers. Brian Thomas led the team in Seaman receiving 3 for 87. Solo sack on the day came from Josh Allen, and the interceptions came from Greg Newsome and Devin Lloyd, who now has like fucking 5 picks on the year. He's been having an unbelievable season. Great win by Jacksonville, and like I said, Indy, I'm really sorry for this ending you guys are appearing to have. Now we had the Commanders getting blown out by the Vikings, and we also had the rebirth of Nueve 9. AJ played a good game. I mean, he didn't throw for a ton, but he had good passes, had 163 yards, 3 touchdowns. Running was productive. Predictably, Washington's run defense is fucking awful. But Jones and Mason combined for over 100 yards, over 4.5, probably over 5 yards a carry combined, and a touchdown. Addison led the team 4 for 62, while Jefferson continues to struggle, 2 for 11, only 4 targets. And I was kind of distracted by the second half of the Bills game here, but I know Van Ginkel also made a massive play at the end, where I want to say he blew up a screen getting an interception out of it. The Commanders, on the other hand, they did nothing, and the sad story about this is not only Jaden getting hurt again, but Jaden Daniels just looked like shit. He looked like garbage. I'm sorry. Receiving was led by Terry, who had 41 yards. Zach Ertz had 1 reception for 11 and also snapped his leg in half. He might never play again. Bobby Wagner led the team on defense, 6 tackles and a sack. Von Miller got a sack. They actually had 4 sacks total, but that's pretty hard to appreciate when your offense can't throw up a single point. Good rebuttal by Minnesota, might be a little bit too late, but an even better performance by KOC and Brian Flores. The Vikings fans needed that. And now we have the Bills, I would say, well, escaping the Bengals, but also Josh Allen just taking total control of the game, showing why he was the MVP, is still in contention to be the MVP, and single-handedly winning this game for the Bills. I mean, this was a crazy story, man. Burrow was unbelievable at the start of the game. He was surgical, he was like a cyborg, and then after Christian Benford's interception, he just fell apart. Jamar Chase was actually held to just 44 yards. Mike Gesicki was a demon. He was a fucking menace all day. T. Higgins had a great day, great touchdown catch by him too. And their defense actually, I mean, they started off the game playing pretty good. They held Buffalo to, what, 3 points in the first quarter? And then slowly got broken down until the explosion in the fourth, which put the nail in the coffin. I mean, Josh threw 22 for 28, 251, 3 touchdowns. He also had 78 rushing yards and a rushing touchdown where he pretty much just broke free like he did against Pittsburgh in the playoff game and just housed it for what appeared to be at least 50 yards. Dawson Knox was a monster, 6 for 93. Kincaid had a touchdown. Shakir had a touchdown, which was an absolute magician play by Josh Allen. Defensively was led by Jordan Poyer, who just celebrated his 60th birthday. Christian Benford had a huge game. Epinesa stepping up at the end. I mean, the Bills played out of their minds. Sadly, the only thing that was not spectacular on the day was James Cook, who fumbled twice. One of them was more forgiving than the other, but the second one was, I mean, right at the fucking line. However, that's what teams are for. Picking each other up when they're down. James Cook, you're gonna bounce back. And Buffalo, thank you so much for winning that game. That was not only a must win, but you guys are starting to give hope. You're starting to give that spark that maybe after all, you guys can do this. Now we just got to face the fucking Patriots. Now moving on, we have the Saints beating the Bucs. I didn't pay much attention to this because I thought the Bucs would have this wrapped up, but apparently I was wrong. And what shocks me the most about this game is that it's the rushing of New Orleans that beat Tampa, which is something Tampa is notoriously known for being good at defending against, the run. Like, what the fuck is this? Devin Neal, 70 yards and a touchdown. Tyler Shuck, 2 rushing touchdowns. Like, really? This of all teams is when this happens? Story of Tampa Bay would appear that Baker Mayfield just kind of sucked. 122, 1 touchdown, 1 pick, awful passer rating. Saw Bucky Irving's receiving touchdown. Rushing was pretty lousy for Tampa. I did see Baker had a nice scramble as well. Receiving was led by Chris Godwin. Bucs were able to sack Shuck 3 times. Zion McCollum picked him off, and yet this is the defense that comes out losing. Look at the 3rd down efficiency here, for fuck's sake. 5 for 11 and 3 for 13, Tampa? I mean, shit, Tampa outpossessed them. The Saints had 3 more penalties. The Bucs had more first down. They converted on 4th down twice, and these sons of bitches still lost. Oh no, here come the Panthers. Now we have the Steelers knocking off the Ravens 27-22. Massive bounce back day for DK Metcalf, who had 7 for 148. However, Jalen Warren had the receiving touchdown, and the 2 rushing touchdowns came out of Kenneth Gainwell and very predictably Aaron Rodgers. We all knew that was coming. Raj also had an accurate day passing, 284, high rating, 1 touchdown. And even Adam Thielen got involved here, having 1 catch for 4 yards, which was about as much as he did his entire last stay in Minnesota. And at the Ravens now, Lamar is continuing to just not be Lamar Jackson. He did have a rushing touchdown, which looked, I guess, a little bit more like Lamar, but still throwing, I mean, an interception a game for this guy at this point is completely out of this dimension. But also his accuracy is just, it's completely off. Looks like Derrick Henry had a good day though, 94 rushing yards. Zay Flower had 8 receptions for 120 yards, while Isaiah Likely caught his first touchdown of the season. Holy shit, man, look at all the eggs here for defense too. No sacks, no picks, no fumbles. Ravens ran fucking 26 more plays than the damn Steelers did. They had over 100 more yards and they still got their asses beat. What the hell? That'll bring us to the Dolphins beating the shit out of the Jets 34-10. I mean, this team won by 24 points and their quarterback threw for 120 yards and 1 touchdown. Rushing just dominated the game. Achane having 92, Jalen Wright having 107, both of them having a touchdown. Ollie Gordon having a touchdown. Jalen Waddle rightfully led receiving, 5 for 50 and a touchdown on a 7 target. And what an absolute massacre by the Miami defense, Miami front, Miami secondary. 5 total tacks, 3... I'm dyslexic! 5 total sacks, 3 interceptions, a forced fumble by Chop. Just beat the hell out of poor Brady Cook and Tyrod Taylor, who, like I said, got hurt immediately. Miami also contained Brees, only allowing 43 yards out of 14 attempts. Mason Taylor led receiving. I still think he's going to be a phenomenal tight end when he gets a quarterback. And the solo sack for New York came out of Quincy Williams. Man, I feel bad for Harrison Phillips. He just got sent there to die by the Vikings. He did not deserve that. Now we move on to the Broncos beating the Raiders, and this might be an NFL record by Bo Nix. He completed 31 passes out of 38 attempts, which that is remarkable. But 31 completions for 212 yards? What the fuck? I didn't watch this game, but was it as boring as it sounds? Because that sounds terrible. Anyway, RJ Harvey led the team in rushing, 75 yards and a touchdown. Receiving was led by Cortland Sutton. Defense came up with 4 sacks, 2 from Nick Bonito. Marvin Mims had a punt return touchdown. By the way, the Jets had one too. I should have mentioned that. I can't remember who it was, but that was like right away as well. I was hoping Tyrod threw a touchdown, and then I looked and was like, no, why the fuck would that happen? And also, I should not leave out Bo Nix's rushing touchdown, which I saw that too. Looking at the Raiders, Geno, 13 for 21, 116, 1 touchdown, where he left with a shoulder injury, being replaced by Kenny Pickett, who actually played pretty well by the looks of it. And from what I'm hearing, Geno is not actually going to be seriously hurt, which I don't know if that's good or bad. Ashton Genty was miserable. He's actually had kind of a rough couple weeks now. Like, I'm talking pathetically bad. I'm not blaming him. The O-line's terrible, but holy shit, he's not doing himself favors either with how he's been playing. Brock Bowers had a touchdown immediately. Another touchdown came out of Shedrick Jackson later on from Kenny Pickett. Defense was led by Devin White. Hold up, then Jeremy Chin and then Eric Stokes. If I'm not mistaken, weren't all 3 of them former first-round draft picks like in the last 8 years, and neither one of them on the team they were drafted by now? Maybe not Jeremy Chin, but Devin White and Stokes were first-round picks. Hey guys, they're finally starting to come together. Max had a sack, Tonka had a sack, and Danny Carlson kicked 5 points. Don't worry, Raiders, the season's almost over. Then we had the Rams taking care of business in Arizona. Stafford hops back on the train, 281, 3 touchdowns. Blake Corum dominated the run game. Not that Kyron did bad either, but Blake Corum, 128 yards, 2 touchdowns. Kyron had 84 and a touchdown. Puka Nacua had a casual 7 for 167 and 2 more touchdowns on the year. 11 targets. Holy fuck. Colby Parkinson had a touchdown. Got 3 sacks coming out of the defense and an interception from Nate Landman. Jacoby Brissett threw for 271, 2 touchdowns, 1 pick, both touchdowns back to Michael Wilson, who out of 16 targets hauled in 11 more catches for 142 and obviously the touchdown. Dude, he's low-key a menace. Just a reception machine. Rushing was led by Jacoby Brissett. Zonovan Knight, honestly, every time I watch him at least, I swear he might be the most unproductive runner I've ever seen. And poor Arizona's defense got paid to pretty much just show up for 3 hours and do nothing. They got their asses kicked. They never had a chance. I mean, they got fucked up from the beginning. 10, 14, 14, and then in the 4th quarter, the Rams finally chilled out and only threw up 7. Jacoby Brissett also very well might be your opening, kickoff starter next year. You guys will definitely have someone else in the building, maybe a rookie hopefully, but he's been balling, dude. That'll bring us to Chicago, losing to Green Bay. Unfortunately, Caleb Williams just kind of shit his pass at the end. Horrible read. Threw it right to Keyshawn Nixon. Caleb didn't have his best day either. He did throw 2 touchdowns, though. Running was fairly contained compared to what it has been in recent weeks. Receiving seemed very deflated. Ben Johnson he didn't really coach his best game here. Like, their offense was just completely out of rhythm. They didn't know what the fuck they were doing. CJ Gardner-Johnson did pick off Love, though. Montez Sweat got a sack. They were in the game until the very end, and then, like I said, Caleb just, he fucking blew it. Jordan Love, another excellent day out of him. 3 more touchdowns. 2 of them going to Christian Watson, who had 4 for 89. Josh Jacobs had a rushing touchdown. And to the people over here demanding a Christian Watson apology. For one, I don't think I've been mean to that guy in quite some time. And for 2, let's let the guy play for more than, 5 or 6 weeks, which is usually all we get to see of him every year, before I have to really break out the suit and tie for a formal apology. And to end with Sunday Night Football, we had the Chiefs losing to Houston. I don't mean to say that like Houston's a bad team, but the Chiefs fell to 6-7. They might be done. And Chief fans, please don't think I'm some Bills fan celebrating right now. I'm just calling it how it is. Mahomes was abysmal. Travis Kelce fucking stinks now, and that's just depressing to see. Gosh, he can't hang on to a ball, and man, does he just look like a defeated old man when he sits out there. This is a game where, in a way, you almost felt bad. Like, you know that this fan base and this team wanted to win. They needed to win so bad, and they believed they could. I believe they could. I picked them, and they went out there and had the shittiest game I think I have ever seen the Kansas City Chiefs play. And hats off to the Texans here. CJ Stroud, he played fair, wasn't accurate, but I saw a couple nice passes, one where he scrambled out and completed a beautiful one. Running was pretty much obsolete. However, Woody Marks did have a receiving touchdown, the only receiving touchdown. Nico Collins had 4 for 121 on the day. But man, did this defense just destroy Kansas City, the same defense that destroyed Buffalo. Just the constant pressure. The secondary constantly being in the right spots every single play. They are never in the wrong area. It's just disruption after disruption. These guys were so in Patrick Mahomes' head, man. That fucking, I think it was the second pick of the night where he dropped back and literally threw it, and it was short by about 20 fucking yards. What the hell was that? I've never seen Mahomes do that, I don't think. Just a baffling performance all around, really. Congratulations to the Texans. You guys are going to make the playoffs, I think, very interesting, not only because you guys are on pace to be in it, but because I think you guys are going to potentially be the shot that took Kansas City out. The kids are going to finally get to play. That is going to be it for today's reaction video, ladies and gentlemen. I hope you guys enjoyed this video. And if you want to show support, please do it, because you know I appreciate it. In the meantime, I'm going to get this whipped up so you guys can watch it on time. I hope you guys enjoy the rest of your Monday. Stay warm, stay safe, and I will see you in the next upload.